Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to talk about part 2 of season 3 of the L Word. Most of what I'm going to talk about is going to focus on episode 12, the season finale. It's just a lot of misery, death, breakups, fights. It's as awkward as Tina's gay and straight friend mixer party. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up with all the L Word news. I will be posting as soon as we hear anything about them going back to film for season 2, when we get any shooting information, and also when season 2 will be back on our screens. So make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time that I post a new video. And don't be afraid to like the video and comment. It really helps out the video when you like it, and if you comment, subscribe and like, you'll be entered into a draw to win the L Word Generation Q season 1 on DVD. I'm just going to talk a little bit about housekeeping, what's coming up on the channel, as some things in my personal life are going to be different over the next few weeks. I will take no offense whatsoever if you're not interested and you're just here for the season 3 part 2 review. I've got a timestamp in the description, so if you just click the numbers, it'll take you straight through, fast forwarded. I just wanted to let you guys know that a week Sunday is tomorrow on the day that I'm filming this, that I will be going to England to move my brother to university. I don't really talk about it too much on the channel, but my younger brother, he's 18, he's a lot younger than me. I'm very much like another parent to him. Our mum passed away when we were quite young. Well, he was very young, and so I do a lot of stuff for him, and we're very close. So I'm moving him to university, and that means that I have to leave the island and go into the COVID world because we don't have COVID over here. So I'll be driving a lot in England and taking him up to his university and all these things. So for that week, I will try and film before and then put the video live while I'm traveling, but there might not be any content for not this week, the week after. And then when I come back to the island, I have to isolate. It used to be for 2 weeks, but as of the other day, we can actually isolate for 7 days and then go and get a test. And in 24 hours, they tell you the result of the test. And if you're negative, you can be released on the 8th day. So during that week, I'll have plenty of time on my hands. So if I'm not updating too much, week of the 14th, that's the week that I'm going to be away. Then the week after, on the 21st, I'll get some good content out while I am locked in prison. And wish me good luck in England. And onto our season 3 part 2 review. So the end of season 3, we've really gone through the ringer with Dana passing away, everyone understandably being extremely upset, and there's also building up for Shane and Carmen's wedding, which is obviously a good thing, but also Bette and Tina just completely being awful to one another and falling apart, and just general terribleness. As always, going to start out with our character reviews, Jenny and Max. And there's one scene in the final that I always think this is what we should show as an example of this good old boys club, because there's one thing that they did do well with the Max character was showing how when Max went in presenting as a woman, Max received a completely different welcome and relationship with these people than when he went in as Max. And I've said before, I work in a very male-dominated field, and my company is very male-dominated. Every aspect of my job is very male-dominated, and every single day there's stuff like this. And I also don't drink, so that kind of puts 2 strikes against me, that I don't go out with the boys afterwards, and it's very difficult as a woman to break through some of those barriers. And I think it's never more clear than when you have Max being welcomed with open arms into this good old boys club when he is in a male-dominated field too, like IT. Jenny pretty much behaving herself. Season 3 is probably one of the seasons where she's on the most stable path, and it's probably because she's gone through like a lot of therapy between season 2 and season 3. And even in the season finale, she was even looking really good. So Jenny really didn't bother me too much of this season, but yeah, as we know, that changes a lot in the following 3 seasons. Carmen and Shane, I mean, the end of season 3 is always difficult too, because that is the end of Carmen. We never see her again, and even in Generation Q, you know, they've kind of squashed the fact that she would be not coming back because of all that stuff that's been said already. And I really liked Carmen as a character. I really liked the actress too. I just miss the character in general, but as Eileen Chaikin has said on the Pants podcast and numerous other times, Sarah Shahi only signed on for 2 seasons, and a lot of people got annoyed when the show aired, and they were acting as if they'd fired her or, you know, not renewed her contract. And that was kind of the understanding from the beginning, that she would only be on the show for 2 seasons, and the actress wanted to go off and do other things too. So it's not like she wanted to extend and then they turned her down. So I'm glad they've been able to clear that up now. I loved when Carmen goes up and they walk in and her family's there, and it just shows you some people do need a little bit of time for it to sit there and be okay with it. I went to a religious high school, and a lot of my friends who were Catholic and Southern Baptists and things, I initially thought that they would have a really hard time with me coming out. And I have said before, I'm very lucky. I've never had a bad response. And some people were just like, I love you for you, and that doesn't matter, and just got on with it. So I think Carmen's mum just needed a few days to kind of work it out in her mind, and she accepted it and moved on. So, because if she had gone through with getting married, obviously that would have been a huge regret for her mom and her family that she wasn't there to see Carmen getting married. As we know, there are huge repercussions from this for Shane also, because Shane's dad does take off, played by Julia Roberts' brother, which I always think is funny, and Emma Roberts' dad. So when he takes off, Shane ends up through the stepmom and getting Shay, her younger brother, and he ends up living with Shane for pretty much all of season 4. I do always like that relationship, Shane and her brother, because I do have a similar relationship with my brother, as my dad is here and around, but he's, you know, working a lot, and especially when we were younger and when my mum passed away, my brother has always been kind of like a mini son to me, and we're very, very close, and I've always looked after him and picked him up from school, done his homework, train, and those sorts of things. It's hard to find representation like that, so I really appreciated when they did it on the L Word. Alice is obviously going through a really, really tough time with Dana having passed away, and her and Laura start this relationship, but it's kind of like a grief relationship. And in the finale, Laura ends up leaving and going away too, so Alice is going through a really, really difficult time, and she's kind of just using various things and substances to kind of numb herself. And you even have Bette and people asking her if she's okay and looking out for her. So Alice has definitely been put through a lot in season 3, arguably probably the most, with breakups and cheating, and then her love passing away that she's not over. And yeah, I just really feel for Alice this season. So I do enjoy season 4 when we get this kind of lighter Alice with Pappy and the basketball game, and when they steal the sign for Jodie, like all those Alice, you know, getting her happiness and joy back again. Helena does the very sweet thing of, well, more than sweet, of paying for the wedding, organizing everything, and as Peggy does say at the end, you know, she does have a really good heart. I have said a ton of times, I absolutely despise Helena in season 2, but from season 3 onward and at the end, Helena ended up being one of my favorite characters. I really like her, and when Peggy cuts her off in the very last part of the season finale, yeah, we are lining up for some prime Helena. She could definitely start selling some of her insane jewelry and, like me, Free City t-shirts that I know firsthand are very expensive, and she's still wearing Free City clothes in season 4. So she definitely is not destitute. But when you've gone your entire life of having the best of the best and having an unlimited swipe, 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 I'm sure that Helena doesn't even understand the concept of money or how much is a gallon of milk, or so yeah, there's definitely some things that Helena has to learn, and I think that it just makes her character more humble, relatable, and we do get some good laughs out of it too with her living with Alice. And that is another thing that I really, really enjoyed throughout the remaining seasons, is the friendship between like Alice and Helena. Do also, of course, love the appearance of Peggy Peabody. Any excuse to get Holland Taylor back on the show, and I would absolutely love it if they got her on Generation Q at some stage. I mean, it's a huge long shot, but how amazing would it be? And if I know that she's, you know, huge star now, but any excuse to say get Sarah Paulson on the show too, they would just be awesome, awesome, awesome. Of course, on to our favorites who are not doing so well. Bette and Tina, what a mess both of them are in. I love as well another great guest star in this episode, Jane Lynch, who is fab, and it's also a crime that they don't have her on Generation Q. But the scene in the beginning of the last episode where they're sitting, Bette and Joyce Wisnia, and Joyce Wisnia is kind of saying, Bette, please don't cause a scene. And Bette's like, I don't know, I won't. And then you can just, like, if somebody's really good at editing, they should have Joyce saying that, and then cut to Bette, you know, stealing Angelica and driving off. And then the second part of the video could be Bette saying, oh, I would never do anything like that, when Joyce is insinuating to her that you're going to be the dean of like a prestigious art school, you're going to be getting loads of young hot artist girls, and yeah, it's going to be great. And it's just Bette saying, no, I'd never do anything like that, and then flash to Bette hooking up with Nadia next season. Just Bette, you definitely aren't as controlled as you think you are. Another point in season 2 that I'm very much looking forward to is the little bit of fabulous Jessica Capshaw in it, who's also Steven Spielberg's stepdaughter. Another weird thing I found out about this week that I didn't know, I knew about Jessica Capshaw and I knew about Julia Roberts' brother being Shane's dad, but did anyone else know that James Preston Cook is married to Julia Stiles? I had no idea, and I saw it, somebody posted it in one of the L Word Facebook groups this week. I didn't know that at all. But James needs to come back for Generation Q too. We're getting quite the list going today with all the people we want back on Generation Q. Anyway, as we know, Bette and Tina are having this custody battle over Angelica, which it's just gross. Like, you would never have this issue, obviously, with a straight couple, and the whole episode makes the point of this is before gay marriage was legal. And when Henry too is just such a douche, and he's saying about, oh, I can never be Angelica's dad, it's like, hold your horses, like, he wants to U-Haul Tina too. So yeah, Henry, oh, everything about him, just can't stand. I feel really bad for the actor. It's like probably every lesbian in the world hates him, because even people who don't like Bette and Tina as a couple, I'm sure they don't like Henry either. When Bette and Alice and everyone's with Carmen, and Carmen's like trying on the wedding dress and things, We do get about 3 lines about when Bette and Tina have talked about marriage, and I hate to disappoint anyone who's not seen the rest of the show, but these few sentences are basically the only discussion that we ever get around marriage or wedding. I know in the series finale, Bette says, "I'd like to marry you," but that's it. We don't get anything else, and Bette says they were both going to wear amazing gowns, and Tina was the one who said she didn't want to do like the conventional thing. So I've said many times before, I think it was like a travesty that they didn't do something on the show like that, and that we didn't see really anything, because although we saw the build up with Carmen and Shane, we didn't actually see a wedding or anything. And now, okay, Generation Q, this has only been 1 season with 8 episodes, but please do something with someone. If we had couples on every single TV show, it wouldn't matter, but we have like this one show with lesbians, and also this one show that doesn't focus around people coming out. That's why I loved Dead to Me season 2 when Linda Cardellini was dating Natalie Morales, because it was just like, okay, she was dating a guy in the first season and now she likes a girl and she's dating them. They didn't have to have this whole coming out saga and crying and telling parents and this. It just was like, I like this person, end of story. It doesn't matter what box they are or tick or whatever. So it just would be really nice to see other aspects of people living their life who happen to be gay and not have to make this whole big thing about coming out, and then it's like, okay, kill them off or terribly mutilate them or have them leave. That's it. Like, there's not really anyone you can point to in primetime television that they're a great character, do great things, and they just happen to be gay. I mean, we used to have Callie in Arizona, and although with Callie they went through that whole like coming out and everything, but Arizona was a character who just was there, was great at her job, showed up, was gay, didn't have to have a big deal with it. Like, her parents already knew, everyone already knew. It was just, she even said she didn't want to deal with baby gays, and they had the wedding and everything was great. And then 2 seasons ago they got rid of her for absolutely no reason. Couldn't they have sacrificed one of the millions of straight people? I know that they got rid of the character of April as well, but it just, that one cut deep. I love Grey's Anatomy, like, as well. It's one of my favorite shows. I've watched it since day 1. And when the L word went off, Callie in Arizona was how I had people on TV that looked like me, that reflected the relationships I want to have. So I just love that show. And I love Jessica Capshaw too. Like, she's a fabulous actress, and Sarah Ramirez plays Callie is awesome as well. Sorry about that little Grey's Anatomy tangent, just love it so much. So as we leave the season, Bette has stolen Angelica and driven off into the Canadian, not sunset because it's dark and snowing, but yeah, we end this season in a terrible place for everyone, which was kind of the theme of the last season 3 part 1. I mean, season 2, the finale ended in this lovely, nice place of Angelica was born and Bette and Tina were back together and everything was going great, and Alice and Dana and Shane and Carmen, and yeah, this season 3 finale, no one's in a good place. Some in an ambivalent place, I guess, like Jenny, things aren't going well with Max, but you know, she's in a lot better place in the season 2. And then Kit thinks she's pregnant, but still with Angus, and that's going well. But we have Dana has obviously passed away, and we do not get her again. Carmen, Shane's left at the altar, and we do not get her again. Shane has left her fiance at the altar and run off. Alice is devastated and the person she was kind of clinging to, Laura, has left her. Helena has been cut off and is like, oh hell, what do I do? And Tina is with a wet blanket, otherwise known as Henry, and Bette has stolen their child. So, what a wonderful episode. What a wonderful 6 episodes. I'm so glad that season 3 is over. But then, without season 3, would we recognize how good season 5 is? And although terrible things happen to everyone in season 3, it makes us appreciate the good times. So overall, I'm just really, really glad that season 3 is over and now we can move on to bright, shiny and new season 4 and go back to our episode by episode format. If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, as it really, really helps out the channel. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can keep up with everything L-word related. And if you do a like and a subscribe, why not also comment and let me know your favorite thing from season 3 and your least favorite thing from season 3 or season 4 when we do the season 4 episodes, and you'll be entered into a draw to win the L-word Generation Q season 1 on DVD. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. I post a lot during the week and you can keep up with everything L-word related over there too. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you for slogging through season 3 with me. We will be on to season 4 next, and season 4 is a pretty funny one, so looking forward to talking to you guys about that. Make sure that you are taking care of yourselves out there, guys, and staying safe. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye!